Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about the 6 things men should not do with women. So if you are worried about putting off a woman that you're dating, these will help, right? Because if you do all these things and she still loses interest, then you know that you did absolutely everything right and that woman isn't for you. And if you are dealing with a woman that does like you, then these things are going to raise her attraction for you even more if you do not do these things. So if you don't do these things and do the reverse, you're going to get really far with the women that you date. And even those ones that are kind of half interested and half not interested, you'll raise their attraction more and you may even get them to be more attracted to you, right? So this is really important that you know these 6 things not to do with women. So you do the opposite of them and you can attract women even better. So the first thing is, if you make her do all of the decisions, if you make her choose everything, right? This is one of the things that you must never do with women. Now, first of all, before anyone jumps on that and be like, hey, you gotta let women make decisions, you can't just make decisions for them and stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you don't let her have an input, if she wants to have an input on a decision. But a lot of the time, women can be quite indecisive about certain things. Not all things, but certain things. So, for example, in my life, my wife is extremely feminine, right? And it takes her ages, and I mean ages, to pick out an outfit, right? It's very hard for her to decide on what to wear, okay? For me, it takes less than a minute for me to decide what I'm going to wear because I have a particular style that which is pretty much jumper and jeans, right? So it doesn't take me long to pick out what I want to wear. It takes my wife ages, and she often, if we're going somewhere, if we're staying over somewhere, she often has to bring options. Right? She can't just bring the outfit that she's going to wear. She has to bring options because she might change her mind. Okay, and when you're dealing with a woman that is very feminine, this is how they often can be with certain things. Not all things, just certain things, okay? So when it comes to, so how can you do this then when you're dating? How can you make more decisions, right? So for example, if you're asking a woman out on a date, already offer a place that you're going to go to. Don't be like, oh, where would you like to go? Or what would you like to do? Right? Come up with a plan yourself and suggest it to her. If she doesn't like the plan, then she'll let you know. She'll say, oh no, sorry, I can't. I don't like going to that place because let's say she used to work there, or perhaps she knows someone who works there who she doesn't like. So she may say, oh no, I don't want to go to that restaurant. And then you can offer an alternative, or maybe she'll come up with an alternative. But most of the time, it's always a good idea to have things already in place, or you already have a few options of where you'd like to go with her. And then just say them. Say, hey, how about we go to this place? Why don't we meet at this place? Another thing that's a good idea as well is to arrange the time as well. So if she says to you, oh, I'm available to see you on Saturday, don't be like, oh, okay, great. What time would you like to meet? Offer a time. If she says she's free Saturday, then that means she's probably free all day Saturday. Okay, so you can say something like, great, how about we meet at this place at this time? Right? Little things like that. See, there's not huge decisions, okay? It's not huge things, right? It's always just offering the decision, okay? And if she, like I said, if she doesn't like it, she'll let you know. She'll say, oh no, sorry, I can't do that time. Sorry, I can't do that place. Things like that, okay? So it's not about being pushy and being arrogant and telling her to, oh, be quiet, honey, let the men sort this out. It's nothing like that. It's just offering that decision for her so she doesn't have to make that decision, because it's very hard sometimes for women to make decisions on certain things, like the example I used about my wife picking out an outfit. It's just sometimes it just can be a bit difficult for them, especially because there's the overwhelm of so many different options. And it then takes the pressure off her to think of something to do. Okay, so that's one of the great ways that you can do that. And if when you get into a relationship as well, this is another great thing that you can do, right? When you have, a girlfriend or a wife, when you're deciding where to go out, why don't you be the one that picks where to go? Like I said, if she's not a fan of that, she'll give you an alternative, right? It could be that you're looking through TVs to buy, right? And she's unsure of which one, and you make a decision. And again, if she'll let you know, right? So, for example, for me, like my wife lets me know a lot of the time if I try and make a decision and she's not happy with it. So, for example, if she's asking me my opinion on what to wear, what she should wear, I'll be like, oh, you should wear this. But often she chooses something different anyway. Or it could be what to dress our baby in. She'll often change her decision on that. To be fair, I don't really know much about fashion, so I'm not surprised that she does that, right? I'm not very good with knowing what looks good, right? So it's just things like that, like just trying to make a decision so she doesn't have to make the decision, right? And sometimes you can often tell if a woman is finding it difficult to make a decision because they're umming and ahhing about it. Sometimes they get stressed about it, right? So just offer the decision. If she doesn't like it, she'll change it. But at least you were decisive and gave her a decision to choose from, right? So one of the things you should not do with women is to let her make the decisions. Make decisions, okay? So the next thing that you should not do with women, right, is to turn her into your counselor, right? To complain to her all the time. If you've got issues, especially in terms of mental health, you should really be talking to a professional about it. Now, it's okay to let on that perhaps you have some mental health issues, right? It's okay to let on that you've got anxiety or you're depressed or whatever. But the point is, when you're with your woman, you're not complaining about it all the time. You're not crying all the time into her shoulder and making her your counselor. Right? If you've got issues like that, yeah, it's okay to be sad some of the time. It's okay to complain some of the time. But most of the time, when you're with her, try not to do those things, right? Try to have a bit more of a positive outlook if you can, right? But if you've got serious mental health issues, then obviously that might not be possible. But at least try not to complain to her about it, okay? Especially all if it's something that you're doing all the time, especially if you're like really upset, really depressed all the time, and you're trying to get her to make you feel better. Don't do that. Don't try and get her to make you feel better. Okay, only you can make yourself feel better. And one of the best ways you can do that is by actually getting help from an actual therapist, counselor, whatever it may be. So don't complain to her. Like if you've got issues, that's fine. It's okay to have issues. We've all got issues. We've all got things that we're dealing with. We've all got parts of our lives that we're not happy with. But if you're complaining about it a lot, 24/7, and you're not doing anything about it, she's going to get sick of it. So for example, let's say you're sick of being unemployed, right? And you're all the time talking about how horrible it is to be unemployed and you wish you had more money, things like that, right? But you're not doing anything about it. You're just sitting watching Netflix all day. Like there's only a certain amount of time your girlfriend, your wife, the woman you're dating is going to take that, right? Before she gets sick of you and says, just do something then. Because if you're not taking action and you've got all these problems, she's seeing that you're someone who is not taking the initiative. You're not trying to save yourself. And sometimes you have to save yourself, okay? She's not going to save you. You have to save yourself, okay? And you shouldn't put that pressure on her to make you happy either, right? No one should put that pressure on their partner. Like, you are there for me to make me happy, right? Never do that. Never do that. But like I said, it's okay to have problems. It's okay to let on that you have mental health issues. It's okay to say these things. You just can't be talking about it all the time. You just can't be complaining all the time because it's going to bring her down, right? And it's going to make her feel bad. And you want her to feel positive emotions around you. You want her to associate positive things with you, okay? You want her to associate happiness with you. But if you're always miserable, she's going to only associate negativity with you. And that's going to repel her, right? So another thing that men should not do with women is talk negatively about women in general or talking negatively about your exes, right? So try not to badmouth your exes, even if they were a terror, right? Which most of them was why they're your ex, right? But definitely don't badmouth women in general. Like, don't talk about, let's say if you're in like the red pill sphere or something like that and you're complaining about how women always take men's money or only interested in men who are attractive or whatever, and you're calling women witches and things like that or whatever it may be. Like, try not to talk negatively about women because she will know that's how you're going to treat her. That she's going to see you talking negatively about women and be thinking, well, I'm a woman. right? So that must be how you feel about me because I'm a woman, right? So try not to talk negatively about women in general, or about your exes, or about any women in your life, right? Just try and keep it to yourself. Like if you have these opinions, yeah, talk to your friends online about it and complain to them, but don't complain about it to your women. Don't complain about women to women because they will not like you for it, okay? Right? It's just not a good idea. If you want it to be more attracted to you, just don't say anything, right? You don't have to speak positively about women if you have an issue with women, but at least don't speak negatively. Just keep it to yourself, okay? Okay. So another thing men should not do with women is let on to the woman that you're dating, married to, your girlfriend. Don't let on to her that you're more invested in her than she is in you, okay? Because once that dynamic switches and you're the needy one, you're the insecure one, you're the one that's always fighting for her attention, that's when things like the attraction is going to drop and she's going to be less invested in having sex with you. She's going to be less invested in having any romantic time with you, and you may turn into roommates, or if you're just dating, you're going to turn into friends, right? The attraction has to at least be mutual, or her to be more attracted to you in order for her to have those attracted feelings towards you, right? If you wanted to stay attracted to you, then it needs to be she's more attracted to you, or at least you're on the same level of investment into each other, okay, at least. Okay, there's that study that Corey Wayne often talks about, which was done, I think, by like Psychology Today, or there was some kind of paper on it that I read, but I can't quite remember the source. But the quote is, and then the name of that paper is, "Women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear," right? Which is why you don't invest yourself too much into her, which is why you don't constantly tell her how much you like her or how much you're in love with her and things like that. You remain a little bit of a mystery, right? It doesn't mean that you're mean to her. It doesn't mean that you're cold to her, right? It doesn't mean that you ignore her and don't meet out with her on dates and stand her up and things like that. It just means that you let her be the one to talk about feelings first, and you keep your cards a little bit close to your chest. Obviously, when you do get into a relationship, you can open up a little bit more, right? And show and express more love when she's more in love with you. But at the beginning, especially at the beginning, if you can tell that you're way more into her than she is into you, then you need to hold that in for a while, okay, until she starts feeling the same way, until she starts feeling that more investment. Otherwise, she's going to feel like you're forcing things. And women don't like to be forced into anything. So it's a good idea to just keep it to yourself. If you feel like you're more invested in her than she is in you, just keep it a mystery about how you feel about her that strongly, okay? Just keep that. You don't have to tell her that you love her. You don't have to tell her how much you like her. You don't have to tell her all the time that she's the most beautiful, amazing woman you've ever met. If you're dating her, she will instinctively know that you like her in that way because you're dating her. You're spending time with her. You're spending time exclusively with her, perhaps. She knows. She knows how you feel about her. She knows that you like her. She knows that you fancy her, because otherwise you wouldn't be there. Okay, you don't need to tell her these things. Okay. It's only later on when when her feelings have been established, when she feels those things for you, that is when it's better to reveal those things, right? When she's already there and she's saying those things to you. So that's a good way, a good rule of thumb. If she's saying she's in love with you and how much she likes you, then it's okay to reciprocate and say those things back. That's a good way. Then you know you're not doing anything wrong then. Then you know you're not going too fast because she's already there. She's saying those things. You see? Okay. So another thing men should not do with women is shut her down when she speaks or wants to talk. So if she comes to you with a problem, don't just offer a problem and be like, oh, well, you need to do this to fix that. Sometimes women want to talk about their problems, right? So instead of just saying something like, oh, yeah, you need to do this to fix that, be like, oh, what's going on? How is that making you feel right now? What happened? Tell me more about this situation. I'd really like to know what's going on there, right? Get her to open up and talk about it to you. If she wants you to help her sort it out, then she will let you know about it. Or you can even ask her, be like, do you want me to help you with this situation? Or would you rather just talk about it for a bit and just get it off your chest? And most of the time she'll probably say, yeah, I'd really like to just, get it off my chest and have a talk about it. Or she may say both. She'll like, well, yeah, I would like to talk about it, but I also like your opinion on what to do as well, right? A number of things can happen there, right? So don't shut her down when she comes to you with a problem by just trying to resolve it straight away for her, because she just wants to chat to you. She just wants to unload, right? Because what you need to think about with women is that sometimes their brain is like a ball of wire, right? So just think of a woman's brain as a ball of wire. And the more she talks about her problems, the more she talks about her feelings, the more these wires get untangled, you see. And then she starts to feel relief, right? And if you're the one that is helping her unload in that way, by listening to her, you don't have to talk loads back to her, you just ask her questions, right? Then she's going to feel relief, and she's going to feel understood by you. She's going to feel like you get her, right? And that you've given her the opportunity to open up and talk to you, right? And she's going to really love you for that. So don't shut her down when she wants to talk to you, okay? So another thing, which is kind of a branch off of this that men should not do with women, is be distracted when she does talk to you. So if you're on your phone, or you're playing video games, or you're watching TV, and your woman comes to you and she wants to talk to you, and she's wanting to talk to you a lot, basically, right? Stop whatever you're doing. Face her, right? Give her your presence, okay? Because one of the ways to keep women attracted to you is by polarity, which is, if she's feminine, then you've got to be more masculine than what she is, basically. If she's feminine, then you're masculine. But also presence, right? You've got to, because everyone loves it when someone is giving their full attention to you, like really invested in what you're talking about. You've got to give that to her if you want her to feel more attracted to you. So, and she'll also see you as really considerate. Like if you literally stop whatever it is that you're doing to turn to her, to let her speak to you, she's going to feel so important, right? And women want to feel important to you, right? Women want to feel like they are important, okay? Especially to the guys that they like, to their husbands, to their boyfriends, right? So give her your polarity, so your strength, your masculinity, and also your presence, because that will keep the attraction going for a long time. And if you're looking for a way to keep the magic alive long term in a relationship, that's your key: polarity and presence. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.